Today we continue the third and fourth noble truths. First, we have to recite the Pali. Third noble truth, can you follow me? Kataminja bhikkhave dukkha nirodha riya sijam yodasa yeva dhanaya asesa viraga nirodha jago padinesago Modi Analaya. Again, Kataminja Bhikkhave Dukkha Nirodha Riya Sijam Yodasa Yeva Dhanaya Asesa Viraga Nirodha Jago Padinesago Modi Analaya. We recite together. Kataminja Bhikkhave Dukkha Nirodha Riya Sijam Yodasa Yeva Dhanaya Asesa Viraga Nirodha Jago Padinesago Modi Analaya. Translation, follow me. And what bhikkhus is the noble truth of the cessation of suffering? It is a total extinction by removing of, forsaking of, discarding of, freedom from, and non-attachment to that same craving. And we go to the Fourth Noble Truth. I will read the Pali first. You listen. Kataminja bhikkhave dukkha nirodha gamini patipada ariya sijam Ayameva ariyo atingiko mego seyatidam samaditi Sama Singapore, Sama Wacha, Sama Gamando, Sama Ajivo, Sama Wayamo, Sama Sati, Sama Samadhi. Can you follow me? Kataminja bhikkhave Dukkha Nirodha Gamini Patipada Ariya Sijam Yameva Ariya Atingiko Mego Seyatidam Samaditi Sama Singapore Sama Wacha Sama Gamando Sama Ajiva Sama Vayamo Sama Sati Sama Samadhi. We recite together. Kataminja bhikkhave dukkha nirodha gamini patipada ariya sijam yameva ariya atingiko mego seyatidam samaditi Sama Singapore Sama Wacha Sama Kamando, Sama Jiva, Sama Vayamo, Sama Sati, Sama Samadhi. Okay. Kadameja Bhagawe, Yoga Niroda Gamini Vidivadam, Ariya Sejam, Yamewa, Ariya, Atingi Gomegom, Seyatidam, Samadeti, Sama Singapore, Sama Wacha, Sama Gamando, Sama Jiva, Sama Vayamo, Sama Sati, Sama Samadhi. Translation, follow me. And what bhikkhus is the noble truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering? It is simply the Noble Eightfold Path, namely right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. Teminja Bhikkhave Dukkha Nirodha Ariya Sijam Yota Sayiva Tanaya Asisa Viraga Nirodha Jago Pati Nesago Moti Analayo. So there is a third noble truth expounded by the Buddha. Buddha is like a clever physician. He diagnoses a patient and then he finds a disease. Then also he knows what causes the disease. In the same way, Buddha diagnoses all living beings, the living world. And then he came up with the diagnosis that the living world or beings have this disease of dukkha. And this dukkha, this suffering is caused by craving. When the cause of disease is known, the patient eagerly want to know whether that disease can be cured. Very fortunate. Fortunately, the disease can be cured. So in order to give consolation to beings who are weary with dukkha, and the origin of dukkha, Buddha said that there is cessation of dukkha, the third noble truth. There is a cure of this disease. This cessation of dukkha, or this absence of dukkha, or this absence of suffering is what is known as nibbana. Nibbana is said to be the third noble truth, or the noble truth of the cessations of dukkha. When Buddha explained this, the third noble truth, he said, Yota sayewa tanaya asesa viraga nirodho. That means it is a complete fading away and cessation of this very craving. Buddha was explaining the cessation of suffering. But Buddha said the cessation of suffering is the complete. That means without remainder, complete fading away, and cessation of this very craving. That means this craving as the cause of dukkha, as the origin of suffering. So here Buddha equates the cessations of dukkha, cessation of suffering with cessations of craving. That is because so long as craving is not destroyed, there can be no cessation of suffering. So when the cause is eradicated, then the effect will be eradicated. That is why Buddha said that the third noble truth, the cessations of dukkha, is actually the cessations of craving. Once craving is destroyed, there will be no more rebirth for that person. That is because craving is the one that causes beings to be reborn again and again. You know, in the original description of the origin of dukkha, Buddha said that it is craving which gives rise to fresh rebirth. So long as there is craving, so long as there is attachment, there will always be rebirth. When there is rebirth, there is aging, there is disease, there is death, and there is to be associated with what we do not like and to be separated from what we like. Also, we do not get what we desire and so on. So long as there is this craving creates ever fresh rebirth. Once craving is destroyed, it is like when the oil in the lamp is exalted, there is no more flame. And Buddha described cessations of dukkha as cessations of craving. Here Buddha said, complete fading away of cessation. Craving can be abandoned momentarily or temporarily. Momentary and temporary abandonment cannot give us complete freedom from rebirth or complete freedom from dukkha. So here Buddha said, asesa viraga nirodha, complete fading away or remainderless fading away. So when the meditator attain enlightenment, especially the fourth stage of enlightenment, he or she eradicates craving altogether. Once eradicated, the craving will never arise in his mind. He or she will never experience craving or attachment or whatever any longer in his or her life. When craving, which is the origin of dukkha, is destroyed, then dukkha itself is said to be destroyed. Cessations of dukkha or cessations of craving is what we all understand as nibbana. And Buddha continue, Yotasa yevatanaya asisa viraga nirodo jago patinesago moti analayo. Jago means it is the forsaking. Patinesago means the abandonment of the craving, and moti, liberation from the craving, and analayo, detachment from the craving. So when a meditator is said to have eradicated craving, he or she is said to be free from craving. He is said to be liberated from craving. Actually, he is not only liberated from craving, but he is liberated from the results of craving, which are rebirths in this samsara. It is the third noble truth, the noble truth of the cessations of dukkha. In one discourse, Buddha said, all the four noble truths can be found in this fathom-long body. That means the cessations of dukkha or the cessations of craving can be seen in our own self. That is because craving is ours, craving is our own property, and when craving is destroyed or when craving is removed, that means meditators remove the craving which is in him. So the Buddha said, or he proclaimed that all four noble truths can be found in this body. But when you study Abhidhamma, Nibbana is an external state. That external state, people who gain enlightenment take as object, or they realize Nibbana. So realizations of Nibbana is within beings, but Nibbana itself is actually outside, is external. Nibbana is just the cessation of suffering, cessation of all conditioned phenomena. When there is no more arising of conditioned phenomena, when there is no more rebirth, meditator is said to have achieved or realized Nibbana. There are many people who think that Nibbana is something like a realm or a place or an existence that they will reach after death or something like that. Nirvana is described as just the cessations of suffering. So the cessations of suffering, the extensions of dukkha, the extensions of mental defilements, extensions of the 5 aggregates of clinging is called Nibbana. You may know how many kinds of Nibbana. There are 2 kinds of Nibbana. Nibbana which is experienced while one is living, and then there is another Nibbana which becomes evident at the death of a Buddha or an Arahant. The first kinds of Nibbana, Sa-upadisesa Nibbana, is actually cessations of craving. When meditator reach the first stage of enlightenment, he or she realized Nibbana. He or she eradicates the mental defilements, including craving. The removal or the abandonment of mental defilements or the cessations of these mental defilements is called, let's say, Nibbana in this life. This can be realized in this life. This can be realized by those who attain enlightenment. And the other kinds of Nibbana is called Anupadisesa Nibbana. That is Nibbana as the death of an Arahant. That means an Arahant who has eradicated all mental defilements still has this body, he still has this mind and body, because this mind and body are the results of his karma in the past. So these results may remain with him when a Buddha or an Arahant dies. These resultant aggregates disappear. That is Anupadisesa Nibbana. You may remember the description in the Yadana Sutta. Just as the flame goes out, these Arahant disappear. At the moment of death, the 5 aggregates that are called remaining, because they are the ones remaining from past mental defilements, also disappear. That is called Nibbana at the death of Buddhas and Arahants. So there are 2 kinds of Nibbana, Sa-upadisesa and Anupadisesa Nibbana. It is so encouraging. Meditator can realize Nibbana in this life if you try, if you really have enough perfection, if you really have enough paramis, if you make effort to reach the stage. So it is more attractive. This nirvana is more attractive than the other nirvana. The other nirvana we don't know. This nirvana is freedom from mental defilements. You can see there is a good state. If you really free from mental defilements, you have no mental defilements, you are not attached to anything, you do not get angry, although there is provocation. So in our life, there are ups and downs we have to encounter, but you are not moved by the ups and downs of life. You are enjoying nirvana. So that nirvana, that is the state meditators should all try to reach, if possible, in this very life. And if not, it may take 2 or 3 lives. So this nirvana is more attractive than what will happen after the death of an arahant. So towards this goal, the extensions of mental defilements, meditators should direct your effort. Meditators should put effort to reach nirvana. So this is the third noble truth. And the fourth noble truth, as you know, is the practice that leads to the cessation of dukkha, or practice that goes to the cessation of suffering. When the patient knows that his or her disease is curable, the next question he or she wants to ask is, what medicine shall I take? The patient wants to know. The patient wants to ask. Then the clever physician will make some medicine for him. If you are a native physician, you may collect roots and other herbs and then prepare the medicine for patient. So in the same way, clever physician Buddha prepare the medicine for the cure of the disease of suffering. So how many ingredients of that medicine? There are eight ingredients in the medicine the Buddha gave to the world. You know these eight ingredients. So the fourth noble truth is the way or the practice that leads to the cessations of suffering. So the Pali, very long, Dukkha Nirodha Gamini Pidivida. Dukkha Nirodha Gamini Pidivida. Gamini Pidivida, the word say, that goes to, not that leads to. That goes to the cessations of dukkha. That goes to means that takes cessations or dukkha as object. When our mind takes some object, we say our mind goes to that object. So the meaning explained in the commentaries is that it is the practice. It is the way that goes to the cessations of dukkha. It is a practice that goes to nibbana. It is the medicine the Buddha gave us for the cure of the disease of dukkha. Since it is like a medicine, we must make use of it. The doctor will give us medicine, and if we do not take the medicine, then our disease will not be cured. So in the same way, here Buddha gave us this medicine, and if we do not take it, if we do not practice this his way, then we will not get the benefits of getting rid of mental defilements. Among the four noble truths, the fourth one is the most important for us. We may not know about dukkha. We may not know about suffering. Or we may not know the cause of dukkha, the cause of suffering. We may not know the cessations of suffering. But if we know the fourth noble truth, if we know right understanding, right thinking, right speech, etc., if we know and practice it, then we will be able to see the first noble truth, and we will be able to abandon the second noble truth, and we will be able to realize the third noble truth. So for us, the fourth noble truth, dukkha nirodha gamini pratipada, is the most important. It is like a medicine. So we have to take it, we have to take the medicine, we have to practice it to get good results of that medicine. The path or this practice consists of 8 members, 8 factors, 8 ingredients. This practice is called the middle way, Michima Bodhipada. And Buddha had 2 names for this practice. One is Michima Bodhipada, the middle way, or the other is Ariya Atingika Mega, the Noble Eightfold Path. The Noble Path, which has 8 limbs, which has 8 members or 8 factors. The 8 factors, right understanding, right thoughts, and so on. Before going to the individual factors, we have to go to the similes by which we should understand the 4 noble truths. The 4 noble truths are the noble truth of suffering, dukkha, the noble truth of the origin of suffering, Samudaya Sitya, and the noble truth of the cessation of suffering, Nirodha Sitya, or the noble truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering, Mega Sitya, or Dukkha Nirodha Gamini Vidivida Ariya Sitya. These we understand more clearly when we understand them with reference to some simile. So in the Visuddhimagga, some similes are given. It is said that the first noble truth is like a burden. We can say it is like a big weight. We have to carry this very, very heavy weight. So what kinds of burden, what kinds of weight? 5 aggregates. So we have to, early morning we wake up and go to restroom and clean everything. And after then have to take breakfast and do exercise, walking meditation, and also drink water and go to restroom, and then have the lunch and take some medicine, take other treatment to carry this heavy burden. It is very big weight. So the first noble truth is like a burden. The second noble truth is taking up that burden. That means when we take up that burden, we feel happiness. We don't know it is suffering, so we happy to take it. So that is the second noble truth. Second noble truth is taking up that heavy burden. We don't know it's dukkha, so we take it, we like it. Then we have dukkha there. So we take up the burden, and then the burden is on us. And that noble truth, that is nirvana, putting down the burden is like nirvana. Now you don't want that heavy burden, it is very tired, you're very tired, so you put down this burden, that is you realize nirvana. And the means to putting down the burden, some means or your effort to throw it away. You put in effort to throw this burden. That is your practice. That is the fourth noble truth. So remember, the first noble truth is suffering. It is like a burden. And second noble truth is like picking up, like taking up the burden. So you don't know this suffering, then you like it. So craving, attachment to that burden. So that is taking up the burden. Now you realized this is heavy, this is dukkha, so you put down the burden. You like nirvana, you realize nirvana. The third noble truth is like putting down the burden. That is, you attain nirvana. And the fourth noble truth is the means to put it down, the burden. You practice very diligently. What are you doing? You don't want dukkha, you don't like dukkha, so you try to put down this burden. So that is the fourth noble truth. So another simile is the first noble truth is like a disease. We have disease, we are suffering. And the second noble truth is like the cause of disease. There is craving, attachment. And the third noble truth, what you realize is like the cure of the disease. You don't like the disease and you take treatment diligently and then finally cure. That is that noble truth. That noble truth is like the cure of the disease. And the fourth noble truth is like medicine. You are taking medicine diligently, regularly, meticulously, continuously. So taking medical treatment is very important to to be cure of your disease. Another simile is the first noble truth is like a famine, scarcity of food. And the second noble truth is like bad rains. So in this state, California, sometimes drought, sometimes too much rain. This is bad rain. So that is the second noble truth. When the weather is too dry or it rains too much, we don't get crops and there could be famine. So bad rain is the scourge of famine, and it is like the second noble truth. And the third noble truth is like having plenty. A lot of food. Having plenty means having plenty is like the third noble truth. And good rain, timely rain, just enough rain is like the fourth noble truth. So we can understand the four noble truths with any one of these simile. The middle one is very clear. Disease, the cause of disease, cure of disease, and the means of curing the disease. That is medicine. So the simile is clear. So we must understand what we must do about or what we must do with regard to these four noble truths, or what are the functions we should do to these four noble truths. These four functions are different. The first noble truth is the noble truth of suffering. The noble truth of suffering is for thorough understanding, for thorough comprehension. That means we must see clearly the first noble truth. So during the practice of meditation, meditator encounter a lot of suffering. Through vipassana meditation, meditator can see the first noble truth. more and more clearly. So it is reality, it is natural treatment, no danger, and finally you can gain true happiness. Suffering is the true nature. Anicca, dukkha, anatta, these are true. So through vipassana meditation, you can see the first noble truth clearly. Through vipassana meditation, meditators see mind and matter. Yes, no me, no you, no I, no man, no woman, just the phenomena of psychophysical phenomena. Sitting very clearly, rising, falling clearly, you can understand the mind and matter, you distinguish clearly, walking, standing, stretching, bending, seeing, hearing. You distinguish mind and matter. And when you are noting mind more strengthened, you can see they are arising and disappearing, arising and disappearing, arising and disappearing. So you come to see the dukkha nature of mind and matter. When you see arising and disappearing for a long time. One of the meanings of dukkha is to be oppressed by arising and disappearing. That is the main meaning of dukkha. So anything that has a beginning and an end, that is arising and disappearing, is said to be dukkha. You see dukkha clearly only when you practice vipassana meditation. You may sin and you may sit and think about dukkha. You may speculate about dukkha and you think that you understand dukkha. But that understanding is not from your own experience. It is just thinking. But now you're very careful. You don't care anything. You just sit down and concentrate to watch the mind and matter. You practice very precisely and you see for yourself mind and matter. You see for yourself the arising and disappearing of that psychophysical phenomena. And later on, you just see disappearing. Then you come to know the true nature of dukkha. So dukkha is the noble truth to be understood clearly. And the second noble truth, it is craving. Craving is to be abandoned. That is because so long as we do not abandon the second noble truth, so long as we do not abandon craving, there will always be dukkha, there will always be suffering. So the function to be done with regard to the second noble truth is abandoning eradication. Once you are able to eradicate craving, you will be able to get rid of dukkha altogether. Not the whole day, the whole week, the whole month. You are trying to practice to eradicate the craving. With regard to the third noble truth, which is Nibbana, the function is realization, seeing Nibbana face to face. This realization comes only at the moment of your enlightenment. At the moment of enlightenment, what happens is that a type of consciousness, Megacita, arises along with its concomitants, and it has the power to eradicate mental defilements. And at the same time, it takes Nirvana as object. That means it sees Nirvana directly at that moment. Before that, we actually do not see Nirvana directly. We may say, we may pray, may I attain Nirvana. We may talk about Nirvana. We may think about Nirvana, but that is not direct seeing. But at the moment of enlightenment, meditator really see Nirvana clearly. He see Nirvana face to face. So Nirvana is to be realized, not to be eradicated, like second noble truth, nor to be thorough understood, like the first noble truth. But Nirvana is to be seen face to face by the meditator. And the fourth noble truth. The fourth noble truth, the functions to be done with regard to the fourth noble truth is developing, making it grow. Developing is said to be two kinds. The fourth noble truth, the noble truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering, actually, or strictly speaking, is at the moment of enlightenment. The moment of enlightenment is like the result of your vipassana practice. In order to reach the moment of enlightenment, we have to practice vipassana. When we are practicing vipassana, we are actually developing these 8 mental factors, these 8 factors of the path. So during the time we practice vipassana meditation, we are developing this path, we are developing this fourth noble truth. But our developing during the stage belongs to the mundane sphere. Bhava. But at the moment of enlightenment, these 8 factors arise again together and they do their individual function and they reach culmination. They reach their highest stage at the moment of enlightenment. Only at that stage are they called the fourth noble truth. So we have to have what is called preliminary practice, that is vipassana. So strictly speaking, the fourth noble truth can be obtained only at the moment of enlightenment. In order to get the stage, we have to go through the preliminary stage, which is vipassana meditation. So don't be tired. We have to practice the preliminary stage for many times. But finally, we attain the fourth noble truth, that noble truth. So during the period we are practicing vipassana meditation, we are practicing the fourth noble truth. So these are the four functions to be done to the four noble truths. Towards the first noble truth, the function is thorough comprehension. The first noble truth has to be understood. Towards the second noble truth, the function is eradication. We have to eradicate the second noble truth. With the third noble truth, the function is realization. We have to realize the third noble truth, this is nirvana. With regard to the fourth noble truth, function is development. So these are the functions to be done. It is said that at the moment of enlightenment, these four functions are done simultaneously, not one after another. They are done simultaneously. So these are four noble truths. So we will go more detailed, the fourth noble truth, right understanding, right thinking, etc. Tomorrow we have to stop our discourse for today. By practicing vipassana meditation, by observing every phenomena occurring at the six senses diligently, may all yogis understand the first noble truth of suffering. May all yogis eradicate the cause of suffering. May all yogis realize the third noble truth, that is nirvana. May all yogis develop the fourth noble truth, that is the path leading to the cessation of suffering. May all yogis realize the real peace in the very near future.